Hi everybody, this is Crystal. So today I'm going to show you how to make this. I made it a baby blanket. So it's about 30 by 30. If you follow along with me, that's about what size you'll get. Of course, you can make it into a big blanket if you want. It's a nice, easy one row repeat, and it makes this nice ribbing. It's very pretty. Now, I did not add a border, but you can add like a single crochet border on it if you want. But I think it turned out really nice. Honestly, my husband did crochet this himself. He helped me out a little bit. So I'm going to do the tutorial, but he is the one that crocheted this blanket up. Very proud of him. So, like I said, it's baby blanket size. Following me, it's going to be about 30 inches by 30 inches. I'll give you the multiple if you want to make it bigger. You know, like throw size, full blanket size, it's completely up to you. So let's go ahead and get started on this. Okay, for this project I use Favorite Tweed. Now this came from Hobium. I also think this is at Ice Yarns, but you don't have to use this yarn. All this is a 100% acrylic medium 4-weight. Well, it's 95 acrylic, 5% is the tweed color in it. So any medium weight number 4 will work. The color I have is color number, this one came from Hobium. It's 005C. I guess the 3 might go with it, I don't know. And there are 229 yards per skein. Now you're going to need all of 6 skeins, so you're going to need about 1,375 yards to finish the baby blanket that size. I know that seems like a lot, but it is it's an easy stitch, but I guess it can be a little bit of a yarn eater, but it looks super cool. You gotta admit that. So that's what that is. Any medium 4 will work in case you don't want to use this or you don't have it to use. And then I'm going to be using my good old trusty favorite size J, which is a 6mm crochet hook. Alright, now I'm going to show you on a smaller scale, because like I said, my husband worked on that blanket. He actually got it done in one day. I'm very, very proud of him. So I'm going to show you on a smaller scale how this stitch is done. This would be great for a beginner. As long as you know how to do a front post double crochet, you're good to go. So if you want to follow along with me, I started out with a chain of 102 stitches. And that will get you the approximately width of 30 inches. If you want to do it bigger, there's no multiple. Any number of chains will work. So any number of chains that you choose. But following along with me, I did a chain of 102. Now what we're going to do is we're going to start off by putting a double crochet in the 4th stitch from the hook. Now remember, we don't count this one on our hook. So 1, 2, 3, 4 over, and we're going to double crochet. And now we're going to put 1 double crochet in every stitch for the length of your chain. Just like that. So 1 double in every stitch until you get to the end of the row. Alright, I've made it to the end of row 1. And following along with me now, you should have a total of 100 stitches. And 100 stitches is what we're going to have for the rest of, for every row, for as long as you decide to make it. So row 2 is the repeat row for the rest of the pattern. It's super easy. So what we're going to do is we're going to chain 1, and we're going to turn our work. We're going to start off by putting a double crochet right there into that very, very first stitch. Like that. And now we're going to work a front post double crochet in every single stitch across until we get to our last stitch. So we're going to yarn over, and we're going to go around the post. We're not going to go on the top of the stitch. We're going to go around the post of it like this to where it's on the front of your hook. And then you go ahead and do your double crochet. And that's how you do the front post double. It's not hard once you get the hang of it. yarn over, go around the post of the stitch, come back around to the front like that. I think it's always easier to hold it in place like this. I grab it down here and then do my double crochet. That way it doesn't slip up on you. Again, yarn over, go around the post of the next stitch, hold it tight with your finger and thumb, and then do a regular double crochet, just like that. And this is what we're going to do around in every stitch, around the post of every stitch, until we get to our last stitch. Just like that. So one front post double crochet in every stitch until we get to our last stitch of the row, and I'll meet back up with you when we get there. Alright, I've come to the end of row 2. Now I did a front post double and I have one stitch left here on the end. It's actually the chain from the beginning. What we're going to do is just do a regular double crochet into the top of that chain. Just a regular double. And that is how you end. And you still should have 100 stitches if you're following along with me. And that's actually the repeat row, row 2. So row 3 is going to be the same thing. We're going to chain 1 and turn our work. And we'll start off with a double crochet into the very first stitch. And we will work a front post double crochet in every stitch. We don't go into this one because that double crochet took care of that one. We're starting out right here. Front post double crochet in every stitch until we get to our last stitch. And by doing this, this is what creates the ribbing effect. Gives a lot of texture, makes a nice thick warm blanket, throw baby blanket. So what I'm doing is just repeating on row 3. I'm just repeating what I did for row 2. One front post double crochet in every stitch until I get to my last stitch. And as you can see, there's already one row of ribbing that has started. Okay, I've made it to the end of row 3. Now I'm going to show you here at the end of the row. Now remember, we always, when we start a row, we chain 1, turn, and double crochet back in the same stitch. It kind of looks like there's 2 stitches there, but they're not. There's not. Just make sure you go into the top of that last stitch and do a regular double crochet. That's it. That's it. 100 stitches still. Always keep count. It's good to keep count if you can. Every few rows, make sure you count, and that make sure you still have the amount of stitches that you're supposed to have. And we're just going to keep repeating that. So we always start every row by chaining 1 and turning. And you can see the ribbing effect again on the back. And we start out by putting a double crochet into the very first stitch. And we front post double crochet around every stitch until we get to the end of the row. And then we end our last stitch with a regular double crochet. So you start with a chain 1. Start every row by chain 1 and double into the first stitch, and then you end every row with a regular double crochet in the stitch. And every stitch in between is a front post double crochet. So it's pretty easy to do. Once you get the hang of it, you'll be flying by. Be done in no time. So that's it. And the more rows you do, you'll start to see your ribbing start to take effect. Now you can do this for as long as you want your blanket to be. Like I said, mine's 30 by 30. I finished out 6 skeins of this yarn, and that's where I stopped. So if you want it bigger, by all means you keep going and make it a big throw if you want to. That's completely up to you. Both sides do look the same. So doesn't matter what side, they both look identical. I like the texture of it. I think it's super cool. Nice and warm too. So that's it. And like I said, if you want to go around it with a row of single crochet to clean up those edges, you can. Otherwise, I thought my edges looked pretty good. I hope you enjoyed my tutorial. Easy breezy. That's what we like. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Hit that thumbs up, hit that subscribe button, and make that bell ring that shows up. That way you always get notified of any tutorials I put on, or yarn reviews, or anything like that. Anything that has to do with crochet and yarn, I'm about it. So don't forget to subscribe. Also, if you look over there on the right hand side of the screen, I'm going to put a playlist of all my tutorials. I have hundreds of tutorials. Anything you can imagine, I make it. All the way from your socks to your hat and everything in between. So thanks everybody for watching. Have a good day.